to the Don't Make This Weird podcast, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, joining in, and for hanging out with me on this Sunday. I know that there's probably a lot going on with Labor Day tomorrow and everybody being gone, getting their last little adventure trip, whatever it is, camping trip, whatever you guys are up to, barbecues, all that fun stuff, before we say bye-bye to summer, which is something I want to talk about tonight, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. The big thing I want to do is get into the disclaimer. We all know that we need to do that stuff first and foremost. I am not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I do not have any of those fancy big titles. I'm not able to prescribe or do any of those diagnose or any of that stuff for you guys. I'm just here to share my story, the things that I go through in hopes of uplifting and inspiring others. Same thing when I have guests on, same thing, although there has been a couple that have some pretty impressive titles that have joined me on the show. And if you have a chance to go back, those are all archived on YouTube. This is episode 71. Can you guys believe that? 71. I had a couple of Sundays off because of the way that it fell, which was kind of nice. I enjoyed it, but I missed all of you guys, of course. So if you guys haven't had the chance, Strange Friends Media is really amping up. There's a lot of different things that are going on over at Strange Friends Media. That is the group that produces this show and also all of the other ones, such as Don't Make This Weird, This Is My Brain, Tuesday Night Rants, Crystal LaFay podcast, not the. Don't put that in there because you won't find it. Also, Chill Stream Saturdays, Guitar Fridays, and soon, Tuesday actually, Initiative Impossible is coming to the channel as well. So all my nerdy friends who love D&D, RPG, tabletop, all that fun stuff, I hope you guys tune in and enjoy that. Because it's not always just about the serious stuff at Strange Friends Media. It's also about having some fun and doing different things that we all enjoy to do there. So thank you guys again for tuning in. I'm excited to be here as always on Sundays. This is my hour to be able to hang out with you guys and hopefully put some positivity out, plus get real, talk about real things and, things that I face on a daily, things that my guests face. I do have a guest coming next Sunday. Bobby's going to be joining me, and I will put some more information out there about her tuning in. I'm excited about that. She is a very fun person. I'm sure she's got a hell of a story to tell, and we're going to go ahead and let her join in and share that with all of you guys. So thank you guys for being here, and let's get started. So I had seen that somebody posted about PCOS being the awareness for this month. And I've talked about that several times on this podcast of being one of 10 who have PCOS. And I wanted to share that for the awareness. There's a lot of things that it's changed a lot since I've been diagnosed with it. And I still have it, even though the crazy thing is that I ended up having a full hysterectomy when I did have the cancer because that was in my uterus. So I still have PCOS though. That's the weird thing. I don't have ovaries, and it's PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, but it's metabolic. So unfortunately, I still suffer from some of those. However, it's a lot less because of going through the weight loss surgery as well. Because anybody who has polycystic ovarian syndrome, having weight and all those kind of issues, that's some of the stuff that you deal with, and that can cause a lot of issues with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So let me go ahead and move over here. I have a couple of things that are saved about PCOS because I wanted to really talk about it, being that it's the month for awareness for PCOS. And let's go ahead and pull that up really quick here. So what is PCOS? So polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, is a serious genetic, hormone, metabolic, and reproductive disorder that affects female infertility. PCOS can lead to lifelong complications and other serious conditions, including severe anxiety and depression, obesity, endometrial cancer, type 2 diabetes, liver disease, and cardiovascular disease. And PCOS affects 1 in 10 of women. 10 to 15%. I'm trying to blow this up because I don't have my glasses. Sorry, guys. So 10 to 15% of women are estimated to have polycystic ovarian syndrome. 50% of women with PCOS are going undiagnosed. 50% of women with PCOS who will develop type 2 diabetes before age 40. And I was one of them actually that did. 4.3 billion estimated annual cost to the American healthcare system to diagnose and treat women with PCOS. Three times the increased risk of women with PCOS developing endometrial cancer. And some of the symptoms, common signs and symptoms. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm having a issue today where my brain is trying to fire too fast and I can't keep up with it. So please bear with me, guys. This happens from time to time. So some of the common signs and symptoms: irregular periods, excess facial hair and body hair, severe acne, small cysts in ovaries, insulin resistance, anxiety and depression, infertility, weight gain, and male pattern hair loss. So it's a pretty serious thing. It does affect, like I read, it affects 1 of 10 women. And I actually know quite a few people that have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I'm learning more and more each day who do have PCOS. And it's interesting because we all have different things that we go through and we face with it. And one of the most common things, though, that we've all discussed of those that I've met is the hair loss, hair growth, weight loss, weight gain. Unfortunately, with PCOS, you can gain weight very easily. It's pretty rapid once it does start, and it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to get the weight off. So there's a lot of different things though that you do face with it, and I just wanted to put that out there. If you feel like you have any of the symptoms, please go ahead and talk with your doctor and see about getting diagnosed to see if that's what's going on. And if it is, it's not an easy road to be on, but once you start to find out what you're facing, I feel like just knowing helps out a lot to be able to take care of yourself and to continually take care of yourself, even if you have been diagnosed with PCOS. So I want to put that out there, and lots of love to all of you who face PCOS, have experienced, been diagnosed with it, or have just been diagnosed with it. There's a large group of women that deal with this on a daily basis. I was diagnosed, I think, when I was 13 years old, so quite a while ago, quite a while ago. And it's a difficult disease to navigate. There's a lot of things that happen with PCOS, and it's not an easy one. So I just wanted to put that out there. And we've been talking about depression and all that different stuff, anxiety, all those topics that we touch base on pretty much almost every show because it is so important. So that is one of the things that you can deal with PCOS. But another thing too, because we're now getting into Labor Day and we're going to be getting into fall. And then after that, of course, I'm not trying to rush it or anything. I'm not trying to be like that. But we have to remember seasonal depression as well. I've talked about that in the past. Actually, our library where we live at, they have where you can take out or check out lights for seasonal depression. They have those available, and they have quite a few of them. So you're able to try them out to see if that will help you with seasonal depression. And I did actually get some information on that as well. So let me go over here and take a look at that. So seasonal affective disorder symptoms is what it is. So it kind of starts within the winter months. So we're not quite to that point, but I wanted to bring it up because we were talking about anxiety, depression, different things with that. You usually will sleep more, increased appetite, carbohydrate cravings, weight gain, irritability, social issues, higher sensitivity to rejection, and having arm and leg cramps, is what I'm understanding. So that can happen though on a regular as well if you're not getting enough water, you're not doing any stretches, you're not moving your muscles and doing those things as well. So here's the thing, is when we talk about these different things that you could diagnose, big thing I want to put out there is try not to self-diagnose yourself with anything that we talk about on this show or in general. Because honestly, that's why our doctors get paid the big money, to be able to help you through that and guide you through that. We're all on different journeys with that. Myself, I do have a family doctor, and I also have a holistic doctor as well. I will give a little bit of a shout out and a little bit more of that later, but for me, it works. And I was talking with somebody just the other day about my family doctor and how they're interested in going and seeing that family doctor. And I said, yeah, sure. But I'm going to be honest with you as well. I see a holistic doctor also. And that is one thing. It's different because my doctor, the holistic doctor, does not get insurance. We don't get, like, that's not paid. It's all out of pocket when you go to do that kind of thing. But I've come to find that I actually like both of my doctors. When it's something that is more serious that I can't have taken care of from my holistic doctor, I can see my family doctor as well. So, I mean, it goes both ways, and it might be just one side for you, or it might be the other side completely, or you might do the same. But as always, check in with your doctor, find out if that's what you're facing or if that's what you're doing. But I really wanted to put the awareness out there because there's a lot of people who deal with both of these things. PCOS, the infertility thing, is a real thing. A lot of people who have PCOS have dealt with miscarriages and stuff like that as well. It is a real situation, and I think a lot of us don't know where to turn to with that kind of stuff. So again, it's important to check in with your doctor, get diagnosed, and to go from there instead of just self-diagnosing. That's never a good idea because we never know exactly what will come up. There's so much stuff out there today on the internet. We could search for hours and get down a rabbit hole there. So just make sure that you're talking with your doctor if you feel like some of these things that I've mentioned tonight sound like something that you're facing. It's always good to check in with your doctor and find out, somebody who has been trained to do so. So thank you guys for listening to that part. I really want to put that out there though, because a lot of people, when I got diagnosed with PCOS, we didn't know a lot about that. Unfortunately, that was a long time ago now because I am now 41. But at 13, I didn't really know much about what it was. They didn't really explain much to my mom about what it was. Now there's a lot more, obviously, that are facing this problem. So they're starting to learn more about what's going on with it. So if that's you, you feel like you have those things or some of those things, it's always a good idea. Check in with them. So thank you for listening to that part. What else has been going on? So in the past 2 weeks since I've been on here, I've dealt with a lot of different things. I've been busy. I have also been just trying to learn that inner balance, that chill. Uh-oh, we're losing Tony over there. The inner, trying to find that peace and that calming through everything that's going on around me. And I'm not one that deals very well with that kind of pressure sometimes. Um, I've had that issue for a long time. I I first off, my brain will constantly try to figure out how to fix something as soon as it's getting brought to me. And then from there, I start to get into like over not I don't want to say overreacting, but going over the situation and trying to figure out, okay, where did I go wrong with this? What did I do here? What's going on? But as in all situations, it's not always just one person that's involved. So for me, I constantly go to, because I have been known to be a people pleaser throughout my whole life, and I'm learning how to please one person, and that's myself now, which is not always an easy thing because I was raised to have a good heart, to love people, and to make sure that I am constantly trying to think of others. When you're raised with those kind of manners, and be courteous and kind. Don't overstay your boundary. Don't do this. And we've talked about this on past podcast as well because it's something that I feel is a huge thing. But so for me, I overanalyze everything, and I'm trying very hard to not do that anymore because it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel kind of crappy. Anybody else out there get this, do this, and feel kind of crappy sometimes from trying to overanalyze, trying to overthink, trying to control things? Yeah, I think that happens all too often with a lot of people. I'm going to go over here to YouTube really quick because I forgot to pull it up. So if you guys are talking to me, I don't have you on here. So bear with me. But yeah, we as human beings, it's hard sometimes to interact with other human beings. We all think, I'm saying that everybody thinks that they're right. Not everybody thinks that, you know, it's weird. It's very interesting. And what's even more interesting, I'm coming to find, is as I get older, I'm meeting new people. And my relationships with other people are kind of going by the wayside a little bit because we've grown up and we've all have started going our ways and doing our things and trying to find our footing and trying to I think once you start getting older, you try to find that peace and that joy within yourself. And it's not so much as like a popularity contest anymore. It's really about being popular with yourself. Trying to find your own love and opinions and what you want in your life, what it is that means something to you. I'm not saying to go out there and just be a total a-hole to everybody and not validate anything that they say or not take anything into heart. But when you finally start to look at yourself and go, "Hey, wait a minute. First off, I like who you are. I'm enjoying who you're becoming." It's really interesting at this age because it's funny because I don't want to say like I'm going backwards, but kind of in some ways, I want to say, because I have more fun. I still have a lot of stress and anxiety. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I have a lot more fun and I have a lot more downtime. And as far as trying to do the things that mean something to me, and still care about the people that have a place in my heart. It's a really weird balancing act when you get older because you're focused on trying to find that sanctuary, that where you belong, but not where you felt like you used to belong. Does that make any sense? So for me, it's been fun because I've been going through my old wardrobe, and not because it doesn't fit anymore, but it doesn't, like, size wise, but it doesn't fit me personality wise now. I go through and I've been sorting through to get rid of, donate, whatever it is that I plan on doing with it. But it's been really cool because I'm finding different things. Like, I like different colors. I like different styles of stuff. And that was kind of something that was fun when I started to lose weight from having the bariatric surgery as well, because it was like, oh, I can fit into all these things now. This is fun. This is cool. But it's not just with clothes. It's with, you know, things that I used to really like. Like, I feel distant from them because I feel like I have a new appreciation and I feel like I need less of stuff, like less of things. I feel like the more things that I have around me, the more chaotic life feels. But this is just in my own space, my home, my life, my thing that's going on right now. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. I find myself taking more time when I go and I'm trying to find new things that I enjoy. I grew up with a really weird, I wouldn't say grew up. When I moved out on my own, I was 19 years old. I was a month out of high school and I moved out into my own apartment. And it was kind of interesting because me, with the heart that I have, moving away from my mom already, even though I was just like maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes down the block, it was weird. It was very interesting because it was like, not that I was breaking the bond, but I was so used to seeing her every day and I was so involved in her life and we were involved in each other's that when I moved into my own place, it was interesting. It was kind of like this eerie, weird feeling because I didn't know how to just be by myself, and I was. That's a huge achievement at 19 to get into your own place, and it was funny because everything that I had in my apartment, I didn't pick out any of that stuff. That was all handed to me from my mom and family members and other people that came together to help me furnish my new place. It was interesting because I had bits and pieces from everybody, like in my family, friends, everything else. It was very interesting how my first apartment was pieced together. And throughout my life, it's kind of been that way. It was interesting because I just decided, like last week, I don't like these dishes anymore. I don't want them. They don't feel like me. And they were given. They were handed over. They were given as not like bought, but they were secondhand, which is great. Like, I have no problem with that. But then it was like, okay, I want to pick out what I like, what makes me feel good. And it's cool because in our household, that's okay. It doesn't have to be agreed upon if it's something that I feel. I mean, obviously, I'm like, hey, Adam, this is what I'm feeling because those dishes actually were given to him. But I don't, it's interesting though because he's like, okay, so it's finding at all different ages, finding where you fit in for yourself though, like within your own space, within your own life, where different. It's really weird. It's very interesting as you grow, and what I've come to find is in picking out these new pieces and new clothes and different things, and it's all secondhand stuff. I buy secondhand or I get secondhand still. I haven't really actually picked out anything really brand new because I've found that, people donate really good stuff, and it helps out these places that, like for instance, in our town we have the Hope Thrift, is that correct? On Joy Street, and that helps with the homeless. It's a really cool organization, and they have a lot of really good stuff there that gets donated. And I donate too. So I donate, and then I come in and I'm like, oh, I need that. Like I just donated a whole bunch of stuff. It's a very interesting thing. But I enjoy that. Like I enjoy to go to that. There's also the Revive in town. They get stuff donated, and of course I've donated to that. And it's interesting though. Like it doesn't have to be brand new to find your new style. You don't have to have this like incredible budget. You can get really nice and garage sales still that time of year yet. You can find really cool finds, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. But again, if you have the money and that's what you want to do, go at it, but find out what makes you happy. We tend to take on a lot of things from other people as like a secondhand thing, and we take it on graciously because we don't know how to say no. And we don't know, because we never want to look, not grateful. But in the same sense, you have to be happy with what you have surrounding you. And I'm learning all kinds of different stuff with that and what makes me happy, what makes me smile. It's weird how when you get up in the morning to have your cup of coffee, just the right coffee cup makes me smile. It's weird, but I like to have those options to be able to enjoy that and know that it's something that I like to start my day off good. Got quite a bit going on over here in YouTube. So Donna's saying, hi, miss you guys. Looking forward to Initiative Impossible. These guys are great. And being an overthinker is hard. Self-love is so hard. What is your favorite self-care activity? And somebody else said, why? Well, welcome to the channel. We appreciate you coming on here. Well, we'll answer that for you. Do you know? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you enjoy? But self-care, you have to find that out. You have got to find out what self-love is and why is it so hard to be able to enjoy it. What is your favorite self-care activity is one of the questions. For me, it is definitely getting out in nature. I love being able to get out in nature. It helps me to bring back balance and to kind of just drown out everything else that's going on. Because sometimes, let's face it, sometimes it can be overwhelming. Uh, I mean, we have our 9 to 5s, we have our relationships that we have with others. If you're a mom or a dad, you have that life with being a parent and taking care of small humans that you have to raise to be good humans, bigger, when they get older. There's a lot of things throughout life. And for me right now, I don't have that as one of my roles. I do this. We do podcasts. We do, all kinds of different things. Music. I love music. I make things. I make jewelry and I sell it. I mean, life is incredible if you look at it from that standpoint. There's a farmer's market, of course. Yeah, the farmer's market here in Cairo. I do that on Saturdays from 8 to 1. And it's always something new, always creating something new. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the people that jump in with that. And that's part of my like self-care too. I love creating things. I love making those things. So I'm not exactly sure where the why question came from, but I hope I answered that for you, and I appreciate you jumping in and getting on the chat here. But yeah, it's been a really interesting journey trying to find myself and also trying to, I talk about authentic self a lot as well. I'm finding that I don't. It's weird. I don't feel or look the same. I don't feel. It's interesting how you grow. One of the things that I've done this past 2 weekends since I've been off is went up north. Went up to my old childhood stomping grounds where I lived for a brief time, or where I learned how to fish with my dad. And it's just a little small town. I mean, you blink twice and you're already out of it. But it was interesting to go back because I remember these places as a kid and running around town and doing these things with the friends that I made back then. And we went swimming to one of the places that I remembered. And it was interesting because I could see my shadow as we were walking back to the van to leave. And it just instantly took me back to the last time I was there. And I think I was like 13. And I remembered like being there at that time. And it was such an interesting thing. I forget about those things. I forget about all of the hardships and the things that I did growing up that brought me to where I am now. I don't know how you forget about these things, but sometimes it's interesting when you go back and you go, okay, I've been through that, but I've survived that. I've been here, but I've done, I've changed these things. It's been very interesting. And that was such a cool thing to do. And I hope that if you guys get a chance to do something like that and go back to the place, and maybe you live where you grew up, maybe that's you're already there. But if you haven't, I recommend going back and checking it out. Things are a lot different where I used to live to where it is now, but it was a very cool experience. So I'm glad that I got a chance to do that. I got to fish the lakes that I grew up fishing, but I got to go out on the kayak and, really slay some fish out there. So I was pretty proud of that too. Of course, that's something else that I've come to find that I absolutely love doing. It brings me peace. I enjoy getting out there and getting on the water and just discovering all these different things about myself. It's interesting when you're still going through that and you're like, wait a minute. I like this now. Like I couldn't stand this before, but now I really enjoy this. Is it getting older? Maybe. Your tastes change, your taste buds change, your eyesight changes, everything changes. But honestly, I still feel like mind wise, I still feel like I'm in my 20s. I still feel that way. But my body does the snap, the cracking, the popping, and all that. It doesn't feel the same. But I'm working on that as well because I know that if you use it, you don't lose it. You continue to keep on working through and take care of yourself. So why not have the rest of you feel like your mind does? Keep sharp, people. Let's do this. I love it. So don't forget too that I put out a little snippet on Monday mornings. They're probably going to be a little bit earlier because I am now working on Monday mornings. So I'm going to try to get up super early, put that out so we can start out Mondays positively. Tomorrow I'll have another little one. They're not very long. It's just a little bit of talking and starting the week out good, trying to get everybody positive, to stay positive and keep moving. It's hard sometimes. It's hard to stay positive, and I know a lot of people out there can't stand Mondays because they're coming off of their amazing weekends, have to go back to the job a lot of people don't like or even love, which I do. I'm lucky there. And it's hard. It's hard sometimes. People are like, "Oh, I hate Monday." I'm like, "I love Monday. I love Mondays." And I kind of talk a little bit about that in the snippets that I started out. I love Monday, and it was fun Monday. And it's funny because I have a couple pictures of the snippet of where I filmed my last video. I was actually downstairs and you could see the way that I like cobbled together a little studio really quick because the lighting was better in there. But I have pictures of that and you can see me in my shorts and just kind of out of bed, fresh, whatever, no makeup on, no none of it. But that's okay. I told you guys that I would come to you without having anything fancy or anything like that, just being myself, not doing the makeup, not doing anything exceptional, just to be there to put out positivity and just focus on that. And that's really what we need, I think, on Mondays. The weekends are, kind of getting a little bit shorter. Things are starting to get busier for like the holiday seasons that are months away still, but it's really already getting pushed out there. We were seeing the fall decorations coming in, and it's just that time of year where things start to change, and that's a hard one too. That's a hard thing for some people. Not always is that a hard thing, but for some people, holidays are hard. Sometimes people aren't with their families that they want to be with. Some people don't want to see their families. It's all over the board, and that's again part of this life that we're living, trying to find our footing and trying to stay positive through it all. It's not an easy task all the time, but I'm hoping that everybody is working towards that and finding themselves and loving themselves more. I really, really am happy to continue to talk more about that as we find ourselves and we move through all of the stuff that we've faced, that some of the things that hold us down, sometimes it's our minds that hold us back. And I've talked a little bit about that in the past as well. Have you ever been sitting there excited about something and your mind just goes, well, wait a minute, what if this happens? Or you're really excited, you're proud of yourself, you did this really cool achievement, and your brain's like, could have been better. Wait, what? Why? Anybody else feel this? It's not just me. Self doubt, fear in your brain when you want to do something, and it's like, I've seen you do better work. Wait a minute, since when have you become this jerk? You're trying to do the positive and trying to stay positive, but there's always this little bit of self doubt there. So I hope that we're learning how to move past that and continue. One of the things that I have found that has been incredible is gratitude journals. I just finished a gratitude journal, so I'm trying to find a good one. If you guys got a chance to share with me any good ones that you know of, please share with me, because I got mine, I believe, for $5 at Five Below, because I love that store. Not sponsored by them, but I do love that store. And I found my first gratitude journal there, and it was awesome how starting the day out grateful changed a lot of things for me. All right, I got some shout outs here. Speaking of changing things for me and for Tony, Dr. Shelson's Natural Health here within our town sees people from all over the world, though, all over the place, so you can be seen no matter where you're at. It's really cool. It's natural health, holistic doctors. They stand by their practice and what they're doing. Dr. Shelson has been seen by so many people. So many people. I hear great things about Dr. Shelson, not just from the reception ladies, from other people as well. That has been a cool journey. It's been probably about 6 months now, 8 months now. I mean, we're pushing the envelope there. But we see Dr. Katie there, Dr. Katie Gremmel. About 10 months. I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, 10. I guess it goes by quick when you're starting to feel better and you don't have to see them as much. It kind of slips your mind there, right? The healthy mind. We see Dr. Caitlin Gremmel at Shelson's Natural Health, LLC. Phone number is 1-855-672-2600. So many great things from there. I mean, a lot of different health things that they actually tune into, help you out with, get you on the path to where you don't have to see them as often. I really enjoy it. I know Tony's been enjoying it. It has been a really cool experience. And like I said, it may not be for everybody, but I want to give a shout out to them because they've helped us out a lot. I really, really like them a lot. But I also have some more people that have helped us out too with smelling better. Everybody wants to smell better, right? Naturally, too. I love this part. Stone Cottage Farm of Mayville makes goat milk soap. You guys, there is a very limited supply from Stone Cottage Farm of their soap currently. There will be more, do not despair. But if you go over to their Etsy shop, you can see what they have available, what scents are left. And I'm sure, they have a lot of really good stuff. One of my favorites is the coffee cinnamon. The plantain one is very amazing. The charcoal. They have all kinds of different scents. If you guys get a chance, go check them out at etsy.com/shop/Stone Cottage Farm Soap. Check them out. Go see what they have available. I'm sure they'll be stocking soon. Market season is dwindling down a little bit. We have until October 30th for the Carroll Farmers Market at the Square. So if you guys get a chance to go check them out. Another really cool group that has joined us at the Farmers Market is Buns and Roses Holistics. All about the holistic and natural healing this week, guys. They do tea, tarot, candles, yoga, Reiki, and Reiki healings. And it says set yourself free with Buns and Roses Holistics.com. They are. You can also reach them by phone at 989-671-7320. They're going to be joining us on the Don't Make This Weird podcast. And they are on Facebook as well, so go check them out. Buns and Roses Holistics, you guys, go check them out. They also have a singing bowl, and it was incredible because they were using it. They were across from Dragonfly Boutique, where I have my booth at. That's my other my jewelry, and they were doing the singing bowl, and it did not hurt me this time. So that's incredible. It tells me that I'm doing the right things starting to do the right things. Speaking of right things, let me go ahead and get my water really quick. But thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out. So one of the other things I want to talk to you guys about is I've had people asking questions, different questions, and I wanted to kind of go over a couple of them before our show ends tonight. One of the questions was, what is something people seem to misunderstand about you? Oof, that's a big question, you guys. Thank you for sending that in. I appreciate that. A lot of people misunderstand, I think, with me. I, I look like I'm good on the outside. Um, I have this, energy when I'm on the show, when I'm on Don't Make This Weird. But I think a lot of people misunderstood that, understand that I'm not always 100% like ready to go, ready to rock and roll all the time. Sometimes it takes me a little bit. I get tired from only having the one adrenal gland. I have to draw myself back a little bit and take a little bit more me time than I used to. That I some people know that I am a sensitive soul, that I do have a heart, and I do have a hard time sometimes with things. But I think mostly that people misunderstand that I look like I'm okay, but I do have a lot of things that kind of slow me down a little bit, but I am learning how to navigate them. And also, I think they misunderstand the podcast aspect of everything. Some people think it's really super easy to do. And Tony can attest that it really is not. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I don't do, I have an idea sometimes about what I'm going to talk about on the show, but I don't do a rundown of everything. So it's different when I have a guest on. I have lots of questions for them, which I love interviewing people. And also, people think that that's an easy thing for me. It hasn't always been. I think that's another misunderstanding. Well, you were easy. Like you seem like you have no hard time like talking to people. I was really shy throughout my life. I've been really shy throughout my life. There's been a lot of times that and sometimes I still get that. It's really weird. You'd think that I would be okay, but sometimes I have a little bit of, stage fright, but I still have a lot of fun, and it's been a really cool experience doing that. Also, another question is what should you ask? Wait, hold on one second. Do, 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 do. Hold on. Hold on, I gotta go through these a couple other ones. Okay, guys. I lost my page here. One second. Another question: what does ridiculously human mean to you? That's a pretty tough question and interesting. But I talk about being human, so I guess that is a good question. What does being ridiculously human mean to me? I'd say a lot it has to do with the compassion, with having hurt feelings, with learning how to grow and to evolve and to change and be better. I think that's part of it. I think just learning to be okay with being human and sometimes to understand that we are sometimes eccentric, dramatic, that we have our moments where we're not all put together. And to be okay with that, to accept that you're not always going to be put together. I mean, we've talked about it on past shows about having depression and anxiety and what it's like to navigate that in a day. I don't really talk much about how I navigate that when it happens. One of my questions I had recently for somebody else, somebody that I have, a lot of respect for, and somebody that I've worked with on a lot of different projects. One of the things I'd asked that person was, well, what if we work together and we do something that's big, and I have my day where all I want to do is put comfy pajamas on and stay in bed, because that happens. There's times when depression hits and you don't even feel like getting up and getting a shower, getting yourself put together and all that. And more recently, I'd say I've had a couple of those days where I just wanted to stay home and not really get up and do anything. But a lot of times I force myself to get up and to get dressed and to be ready and to keep on living, because I feel like sometimes those days, I don't want to say that they're wasted, because there is time when you need that, when you need to heal, when you need to be okay with just relaxing and not having to push yourself. Sometimes we need that, and that's what our soul needs, and that's what our soul is craving and asking for. And a lot of times we don't honor that. It's strange, but we get in this mindset, or I do at least, where I feel like, if I don't do this, I'm letting somebody down. But what about if you're letting yourself down? What if you're not honoring what it is that you need for you to make sure that you're okay and that you're honoring yourself? It's a very, I want to say that this is probably a very touchy subject, a very fine line, and it can be misconstrued. It can be taken any way from anybody who's listening or is tuning in. But for me, that's what it looks like. There's days I don't want to get out of my comfy clothes. Comfort to me is a huge thing. Self-care. I love the fuzzy socks. When you know what I do? I found that one of the other things that I like to do is be prepared for those days. That might sound strange to some people, but I get prepared for those days. There's a book that I read, and it talks about all these different things to have like a drawer set up of different comfort things. So when you're having your day where you feel like that's all you want to do, you're ready. You're prepared. Why shouldn't we be prepared for stuff like that? Because let's face it, it's real. It happens. We've all faced different traumas and different things in life. Why not be prepared for when we know it's going to happen? What kind of stuff do we have for us? One of my big things is I love those fuzzy socks. The colorful fuzzy socks that keep your feet warm. I love those. I love fuzzy blankets. I enjoy having that kind of stuff. Maybe I will just wrap up like that and have my favorite drink, which I really like the sugar-free tea lately. That's been one of my things. Hot tea. I got some of that from Buns and Roses. I'm excited about that. But there's other things, there's specific clothes that I feel comfortable in. Of course, sometimes you want to make sure that you get yourself up and you get yourself dressed to feel better. It looks different for everybody. It depends. Bless you. I believe that it depends. There's different levels of those days. There's one where you fight yourself to get up. There's ones where you don't think you can even move out of bed. Or there's ones where you're just like, okay, I'm going to get myself up. I'm going to go take a shower. And then I'm going to see how I feel after that. And that's okay too. You don't have to completely push yourself. Just sometimes that's what I have to do to know that I'm not going to lay there for several days upon days to not doing anything. And that's been something that I've kept true to myself. There's some times where I get to that point where I'm like, okay, I need to get up. Everything that I had planned today is a scrap. We're not doing any of those things that I said I was going to do today. I need to refocus myself, and I need to figure out what I need to do to make sure that I'm taking care of myself in this moment. I find with being a list maker, there's times when I just have to crumple that list up and toss it. Because there's just some days that I'm not going to get through it. I love the gold stars. I love the high fives. I love the, hey, you're doing a great job. Those kind of, affirmations and things. But there's just sometimes I just can't. And that's okay too. I think we need to learn how to be okay with that. It's okay to go off of script and to do what you need to do in those moments to take care of yourself. And it is okay to have a little drawer or whatever it is that you put together for those days when you just need to take care of yourself. On past episodes, we've talked about having a sensory box where we've got different things in them. Like I'd picked up a couple different things for Dawn, and then I brought mine here and we showed those off. And it's like stress ball, slime. I have a little bottle that has different, like a sensory bottle. It's got different glitters and things in it that are pretty. I love kaleidoscopes. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. And that's a good thing to have, though. It's a great thing to have because then at least it's available. And that's part of my tools. And Crystal LaFay has talked about it on her podcast. And I hope you guys check that out about having tools prepared. If you're going to do a job, you need tools. If you're going to work through these things, tools are important. So for me, again, having that sensory box, being able to go, okay, right now I am getting up here to a 7. It's going to escalate to 11. I don't know when, but I'm going to try to work on chilling myself out, trying to get myself back down. And why not have that for those days where you're feeling down? One of my bad go-tos when I'm feeling down is food. Comfort food. So I'm trying to figure out different things that I can do to keep myself occupied so I'm not eating the bad stuff. Because what's the point of going through all the rest of the week eating the salads and enjoying good stuff if I'm just going to sabotage myself when I get down? That's something that I'm working on and trying to learn for myself. And if you struggle with that, it's baby steps. Just take it slow. Anybody who rushes too quickly can attest that you can fall back and start rolling down that hill just as fast as you got up it. But it's really taking time for yourself. And it's taking time to figure out where those notches are to keep on climbing up the hill. You might not get up it just in one day, but be kind to yourself about it as you're working through it and live in the moments. Live in those moments to find where you need to be, to find how to stay up there on top instead of falling back down all the time. I don't think we take enough time to pay attention to that either. And it's okay to have those days. It's okay to take a moment to breathe. It's okay if you're upset because life throws things at us that we don't expect. And when those things happen, it knocks us off sometimes. It's kind of like getting up there for American Gladiator and you're on that thing where they have the little things where they hit you off. You're ready for that opponent and you're ready to get up there and you're ready to kick their butt. But then they come at you with something out of the left field and boom, you're knocked. You're knocked down. But you guys, make sure that you're getting your stance. And that takes time to learn that. It's okay. Not every day is going to be a great day, but okay, hold on. First things first, it can be a great day. It might not be an easy day to be a great day, but it can happen. It really is, I think, too, in how we react to things. But remember, we are human. It's not always an easy thing to do. Dawn is mentioning that she likes chai tea, fuzzy pants, squishy ball, and Netflix. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I've had other people tell me that they definitely they have a certain coffee mug that they fill up with their favorite hot beverage, even if it is in the summertime, because, we all love to crank up our air conditioning to keep it nice as a freezer in our homes. And they also have a coloring book that they color in, and they just focus on that in the time until they're brought back down to where it is that they need to be. I've mentioned in the past, not only with that toolbox of sensory items, but I also really like to be able to hang out in my hammock that I got and just kind of chill out with some of my mom's, what I used to call elevator music. I pop her CDs in, or I listen to an audiobook, or I focus on making something. That's how I know that it's not too far, is if I can get up and actually work on something. I know that I'm doing good because I'm not completely just tossing off everything that I love. And, it's also, I believe that this month is also Suicide Awareness Month as well. Not to go dark on you guys, but it is a real thing. Another thing to keep in mind is sometimes when we get down and we get depressed, when you start to feel like you don't want to focus on anything, you don't want to eat, you don't want to drink anything. There's a lot of things, it's just overwhelming you, and it's bringing you down. It's sucking you in. You feel boxed in. You feel like you can't do anything anymore. You can't move forward. Please contact somebody. If you're not acting like yourself, it's a real thing. We've lost a lot of people, unfortunately, to this. Please, if you do not feel like yourself, if you're having thoughts of things that you would not normally think of, contact somebody as soon as possible. And our inbox is always open as well. One of us will try to get you the proper number. Anything that we can do to help get you to the right place. We have several people that are on Survivor Girl that are in have the inbox so that they're able to do that. I just want to put that out there because I know it's not always an easy thing, and sometimes we don't notice how bad we are getting. So please talk with your doctor, a professional, anything like that. I'm not saying that our box is the only thing to go to. Please contact the suicide hotline, your doctor, 911, whoever it is that you need to get in contact, whoever will listen. Please contact them. I know that that's not an easy thing to do when your mind's not was playing tricks on you and it gets you to that point. Please contact somebody. Please, please, please. Again, it's not always going to be a mild case or something that we're able to pull ourselves out. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to alert somebody. It's okay. It's okay. But please contact who you need to contact, please. Okay, that's another important thing that I wanted to stress. Also, Crystal is joining in. Hi, Crystal. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, she says. Welcome. We love our Crystal LeFay, don't we? We love her. Tony is wildly shaking his head. She is an incredibly and positive person. Check out, like I said before, check out her podcast. She is new to the Strange Friends, but she's on there, right on here. Hold on, am I pointing to the... Nope, other way, right there. Okay, check that out. She is on the Strange Friends Media now. I'm so excited. We are so excited to have her. Nothing but love and positivity towards her and received back. That's a great thing. It's a great thing. We take it. We love it. We'll take it. But again, don't forget, guys, if you are feeling that, please reach out to somebody. I can't stress that enough. Especially, like I said, we kind of started out the podcast talking about seasonal depression and all that different stuff. It's a real thing. And those of you that don't believe that depression is a thing, I'm sorry that you don't believe it. And I really hope that you never have to deal with it because it's no fun. Not at all. It's not fun. It's not fun. I mean, you start to realize when, like, I notice now because I've dealt with it for a long time throughout my life. If I could turn it off, I would totally be like, all right, off button. We're done. We're out. But I realize when it's coming. I've started to get to that point, but through a lot of therapy, through a lot of work, through a lot of self-help and everything else in between to notice when it's happening. And I'm honest. I will message Tony. I will message Dawn. I will message whoever and be like, listen, this is where I'm at. I need a breather. I'm taking my time. But I'm honest about it when I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And I've dealt with that too. With situations in the past. I mean, on the 9th is going to be Zach's birthday, and I've talked about him before on the podcast. He's someone that I love very much, still very much love. Lost him, it's been many years now, unfortunately, to an overdose. And at that time, I was out. I came here, right here in the studio. There used to be, I think it was not a day bed, but what is that? Futon. There was a futon that sat right here. I lived on that futon for probably a good 4 or 5 days, I think. I was wrecked. I was shocked. I was shook. I didn't know how I was even going to go forward. The first question that I asked after I found out that he was no longer here was, what do I do now? What do I do? What do I do? I went into shock. It's beyond me how I even managed to make it here. And I laid here, right here, on a futon for 5 days with several people that checked in on me, and I appreciated that. Lucky I was here because they would take turns coming in and checking on me. And it was miserable, and I can't even begin to imagine how everybody's heart was feeling. Because I can say one thing, I have a lot of people that do love me, and they do care about me, and they did. They checked in, made sure that I was okay. But I'm here now, and I'm still here, and I've shared Zach's story. I've shared my mom's story. I've shared my story. I've gone on to help other people with their stories. And we did a Survivor Circle, Crystal and I, and now she's doing her podcast. And I mean, and we got another podcast coming, which is fun. I want to talk a little bit more about that too, because it's fun. I'm excited. That one, yeah, right there. Okay, I got it. All right, guys. Initiative Impossible. That's gonna be so much fun. I get to play a character in a campaign. Tony is DMing, making up the story. We have 3 other guys that are joining us, and Josh is going to be the techie dude. So shout out to Josh, Brian, Chris, Rude. I always want to call him Rudd, but that's not the right name. And then Tony, of course, myself. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've played in campaigns before. Little tidbit knowledge for you guys. I have a little bit of a nerdy heart, which I love. And I'm excited to be able to do that because it's fun. It's fun to create something and to have fun with it. And I hope that you guys really will jump in and enjoy that podcast because it is going to be a lot of fun. We also have, again, Don't Make This Weird on Thursday nights. We have guests that join us. We have bands, comedians, all kinds of fun stuff. That's the fun part. Those things, too, help me to continue to stay balanced and to keep on moving forward. And you guys do. You guys help me to get up and keep on moving, too. I had a rough morning today, kind of, a little bit. Wasn't feeling too great, but I also was like, I have a podcast to do. I have been out for 2 weeks because that's how it worked. So I've got more coming up. Like I said, I have a special guest joining me next Sunday, which is going to be awesome. And then after that, we're still not sure, but I might be doing the Bass tournament coming up as well. I will keep you guys posted, let you know. But don't forget to check me out tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning right here. I'm going to be back, hopefully putting some positivity into your day, your morning. And Crystal has been on a positive morning thing too every day. I believe she's dropping videos, and you guys need to check her out. Please go like, subscribe, right there. Her Crystal LeFae podcast. Please go check her out. A lot of fun, a lot of positivity there, a lot of truth. A lot of, a lot of things. It's kind of funny how, like, we have a similar vein of the podcast going, but totally different, completely different people, but come together and love each other and can agree on that part. Just being good humans. Just be good. Be good to each other. Got a couple more things here. Crystal says, you are living for him. And that is the truth. And she's seen some of that too. She's seen several different things throughout my life. Also, she has helped me to become Reiki Master 3. So thank you for that too, Crystal. I love that so much, being able to help other people out in every way that I possibly can. Super excited about that as well. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I love being here with you on Sundays. You guys bring me much joy, lots of love to my heart, and I know that you guys are here to be on this journey and enjoy, the positives and to see the raw realness that I share. And I'm here, and I'm still here, and I'm going to keep on moving forward as long as I am still here and breathing and upright and doing this thing. I want to be here and joining you guys, helping you guys to keep on thriving and surviving, to tell your stories. If you got your story and you want to share and you want to join me here on the podcast, message me. Let me know. We'll get you on. And again, I have been promising this for a little while, working out the details of Survivor Girl Spotlights, business stuff. Get in touch with me. We're going to continue to keep on trying to get that up and running too. It's just so much stuff going on, right, Tony? So many things. And I'm back to work now at my favorite place in the whole entire world. One of my favorite places to work. So I'm excited. So much stuff, you guys. Great things happening, coming down the pipes. I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday. You guys going to come hang out with me? Come join me again? I hope so. Oh, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss all these things. I know I go off on tangents. I'm all over the place, but that's just how it is. And you guys like it. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing me, for subscribing, for joining me, even when I don't know how to talk for half of the show. I appreciate it. You love me for me, and that's cool. I enjoy that, and I appreciate that more than anything. So thank you, guys. Hit the like, subscribe button, the bell, all that stuff. Go to Facebook. Look for the positives there. Come join me. Twitch, YouTube, solidstateradio.net. Come on, guys. Come join me. Let's do this journey. Let's do this together. But don't forget, guys, life is best lived.